It's Eleanor here from Hairdressers Journal, and welcome back to our HJ Goes Live series. Today we're joined by Jack Howard, who is our Social Stylist of the Year, and he's going to be showing us how to create an online tutorial. So at the moment, if you're looking to create more content while we're currently in lockdown, this is going to be really helpful to learn how to do that. So I'll just get Jack onto the call now. Should be here any second.
Morning.
Hi Jack, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, absolute pleasure.
It's great to have you. So you're going to be showing us how to master the art of the online tutorial, aren't you?
I think certainly doing them from home is very much more complicated. I'm used to having a team of people who know what they're doing, and all I have to do is sort of work around them. So it's taken me a little while to get the hang of it, but you know, if I can do it, anyone can do it, honestly.
Yeah.
The first thing I think that's really important is lighting, and you can see that the backlight behind me is coming in and it's kind of washing me out a little bit today. Electronic actually position is the better one to do, but I'm up against a window, which is quite nice, so it keeps it nice and fresh and dry. I think that I'm going to show you the setup I've got for this one, for chatting, and then I'll set up for when I'm doing my live demonstrations as well. So I'll show you both because they're both very
Brilliant, that sounds good. Cool.
So I think that the first thing that everyone thinks it's easy to do them until you do them, and then it's terrifying. Look, if I move back, my skin looks better. So what you don't want to do is just do it and then put it out there. I think you need practice runs because it's amazing when you look back at yourself about all the things that you've done. Quite often you find your eyes sort of turning and looking at things, and you need to be looking directly at the camera. You're talking to them. So that's the first one. The second is what you're going to say. I don't think people want to hear a waffle. They need short, concise pieces in that, which is really important. So the ums and the ahs and the those, try and limit those a little bit. Speak directly to the camera. That helps. Now, I've got this ring light here. I'm going to show it to you. It's quite cool, actually. This one. It's a small one, but it changes colour. So there's bright. See what that does to me there? Washes me right out. And then we've got another tone, and then we've got a warm. That works well at night, or if your room is darker. You need to be careful about how you position it. So for me, ring lights always show on my eye, on my glasses, and reflect on them. But you want to look bright, look fresh on there. So play around, find the area in the house. The second thing that's really important is what's going on around you. Now, obviously, some people have got kids and dogs and cats. Everyone's cramped in the house. So you need to find a space where you can work without all those interactions going on for half an hour. And I think that the other thing to do with that is to make sure that around you, there aren't too many distractions going on. So if you were doing it in a salon, and we've always said this, if you're taking a picture in a salon or doing a little video tutorial, make sure everything's clean around you. I've got friends who I send my videos to who comment on them and let me know what they see, and I do the same for them. So we've sort of got built this network of Instagram friends who are saying, yeah, that works, that doesn't work, that looks slightly wrong. My friend in America had me moving out a closet the other day because she said that was in the way. So make a space and make it look clean. It's not supposed to look like, you know, everyone knows that we are at home. Everyone in the world is locked down. So that's the first thing.
Brilliant. Cool. And in terms of, I think we've had a question here on lighting. If you're in the salon or home, should you use natural or artificial lighting?
Well, I think that initially I was sort of opposed to ring lights on pictures because I thought it was not real. But then again, Instagram isn't real. And I think that a ring light really shows colour really brightly. If we were submitting a picture to the HJ, it would be edited, it would be lit, it would have been a bit photoshopped. It's never extraordinary. So yeah, if it helps you show it, then do it. But natural light is amazing. But we are in the and we don't always have great.
Absolutely. Cool. So if you guys have any more questions for Jack, do post them through.
Yeah,
We've got another one. Should you practice the full tutorial before going live?
absolutely. If you're not used to doing them, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I'm used to stage work, so I can know what to say a bit more. But if you're unsure, do a practice one, absolutely, because you can then look back at it and think, okay, I need to change that and change this, tweak this, until you feel confident. Sometimes have a little in front of you for your practice, you know what you're saying, but learn that so that you're not looking down at paper and then looking up. So it's always about having eye contact with your audience.
Definitely a good tip. And would you write like a script or something beforehand, or would you kind of memorize it?
I memorize it, but I have an internal script when I'm doing balayage because I've been doing it for so long, so I kind of know the areas that I want to cover. But you want to come across as confident and knowledgeable. That's what you want to do. And I think that at the moment, so many clients are asking for tips and tricks at home that this is a great opportunity to communicate with your audience, your client, and help them. Because if we're not seen to be supporting people while they're at home, they'll go elsewhere. They'll go to somebody that is seen to be supporting them, which is worrisome.
Absolutely. We've had another question from North Lane Hair and Beauty Brighton. How long should a tutorial be so you don't lose your audience?
For Instagram TV, 30 minutes max.
30 minutes.
If it goes over 30 minutes, it's usually too long. You can cut them down into 2 15-minute pieces, which is what I've been doing with my tutorials to save them, and then I can post them on my page. But you need to use an app called Cut Story, which is a really good app that edits things down for you, which is good. And again, with those posting those, it's all about practice, as it is with everything. I mean, if you remember your first balayage application, mine was horrific. So was my first set of 4 highlights and my first haircut. So it's all about just becoming more confident, isn't it?
Definitely. Practice makes perfect, I suppose. Is there a good platform to try if you're first starting out in tutorials? Should you maybe do a pre-recorded one first and then move on to like live videos as you get more confident?
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I think that you don't want to go live and not be confident and not be good and clear. So it's much easier to film yourself and then you can look back at it and check it and see what works and what doesn't work, and then do what I do, ask friends what they think. Yeah,
nice.
The app that somebody's asked me, the app is called Cut Story, CUT Story. Sorry about that, I've been on Instagram like an hour already and it's only 10 o'clock. It's a great app. But there are loads of little video apps and editing apps you can use that can help you, but the first thing is find the space that works for a tutorial, and don't do anything that's massive. Little tips and tricks. I think that's what people are looking for. So you could have blow dried your hair already, and maybe just blow dry your fringe. Blow dry fringe. It could be how to use a flat iron or how to use a shampoo and conditioner. Link always back to you. I did want to say before I show you the other rooms is that there is a wonderful program launched by Schwarzkopf that is for anybody worldwide, any hairdresser, and it's called Help Your Salon. And you can, if you haven't got digital vouchers in your salons at the moment, or you can't access that kind of thing, you can make them online account, send them out to clients who can pre-book money, whatever, and it helps with the cash flow a little bit.
Amazing. It's a really good initiative. It's great to see what how the industry is helping the current situation as well. It's really good to see that what's happening. So
it's been amazing, really. Think about it. It's 4 weeks, and we're all like shell shocked by it. But the product companies, all of them, are trying to support us as much as they can, but they also employ thousands upon thousands of people as well. I mean, everyone is sort of reeling from this. But there's loads of free education online, which is for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did you want to show us through your room now? Should we go for it?
I will indeed. Oh my goodness. So let me show you this first of all. I'm going to flip the camera around. And here it is. Hold on. Gosh. Here. So this is where I sit by a window. And then I've got my ring light here that changes. This one you can get on Amazon. And let me just turn that on for you again. It's got multiple settings. So it's warm, blue, and then really warm. So that's really cool. It's about 20 something pounds, really quite handy. But then as we come through, we lead onto my garden. I've done this setup here. So excuse my weights, but everything's out in the house. Now I've got this massive ring light, which is the big one. And that comes with these, which are filters, but they're too warm to use for a tutorial, but that gives me some bright light. Then this one is my tripod one, again from Amazon, and I can hold my phone in that, which is really cool. Then I've got my tripod and my doll head, and then just here so I can reach them, I've got my Denman tools that I'm launching with Denman, my scales, and over here I've got my brushes and my products so I can mix up. And this is what that looks like. Hold on a sec. There.
Brilliant.
So you can see me. And then I'm here, adjust that a little bit, and then I can talk to the camera like this and stand, which is really quite cool. And then bring the doll head in. Now, if it's just me on the screen, the doll head will be, you'll be able to see. But if you're looking at the screen now, you can see all this writing at the bottom, it just comes in the way. So you want to make sure that you're a little bit higher and the doll's a bit higher so that you can read the screen as well. That really helps. Or you can log in on another Instagram account and watch what you're doing and then read those questions. That helps too. The only thing is, this is noisy. And I'm trying to find a way to stop it. I think if I put a towel underneath it, it's going to cause me more problems, but that's what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. That's the hard one. And then I can basically paint, work, talk, and that's what I've been doing every Tuesday and every Thursday at 1 o'clock. Set a time so that everybody knows what time you're going live. Make sure you do a countdown in your stories so people can have a reminder on there. And just slowly work with it. If the first one isn't great, don't worry about it. I think that people aren't expecting perfection. What they're expecting is possibly some help.
Absolutely. We've had a couple more questions I can just see that have come up. So,
Yeah.
Hair Marketeer has asked, is there anything you wouldn't do for a home tutorial?
So, it depends what we're talking about. I'm doing education. So I'm doing snippets, half-hour snippets of pieces that people struggle with. I think that if you're doing it for your clients, then, and this is controversial, so don't hate me guys, it's just my own personal opinion on it. It's a time of crisis. Root tints, grey coverage, showing a client how to maybe do it around her hairline through her root area. People have been really appreciative of that. Highlights, I'm not giving any formulas out for highlights for people or balayage. It's just have to grow out. Glazing, shampoos, conditioners, reminding people what you sell, linking it back to your website if they can purchase it from there. All those kind of, everything that you do in the salon, do a little bit of it online.
It's great to get the retailing aspect in as well with the products that you have in the salon. Absolutely.
Retail is really important, as we know, and I think it's a great way to start communicating that. And for people who aren't so social media savvy, this is your time to get savvy. This is the time that you can practice. There's no distractions, possibly children, dogs, cats, and husbands and wives driving you mad, but there are no distractions of a full day at work. So what I've done is I've delegated time every single day. So I've got a workout time that I stick to. I've got a broadcast time that I stick to. I've got all these little things that help me run a day that feels a little bit more normal. A bit of normalcy really helps.
Absolutely. It's having that kind of routine, isn't it, in the day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. What would you say, how has doing online tutorials helped your career?
I've done them for the product companies in the past. I've never particularly done them on my own until I started doing Hair Hack Mondays. And Hair Hack Mondays were content days that I filled. I'm going to go back to my sitting room because I stood here like a lemon. Sorry. Here. I'm back.
We're back.
I'm back. Oh. Yeah, so I decided that I wanted to do content, educational content. I am an educator. That's my passion. That's what I love. So I started doing these content days where I would film everything and then I would splice it together into a hair hack for a Monday. Obviously, I ran out of content just before this all went down. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I am an educator. I want to be motivated. I want to still talk to the community of people that follow me and give advice. And I wanted to help people maybe hone their skills and talk to me. And then, so that's what we've done. So Mondays and Thursdays, I just do little snippets. I've done face frames. I've done ponytail pieces, different gestures. It's great. The feedback has been absolutely amazing. People have been really appreciative of my time. But I kind of feel like, you know, I'm not a essential worker. I don't do any of that. Otherwise, I'm stuck in the house. I might as well give something back to a community that's given me so much.
Absolutely. No, it's great to see so many experts who are coming to HJ and working with us on these kind of live educational lives as well, because it's great to share kind of information and share advice and kind of all band together during this kind of uncertain time.
Yeah.
In terms of, we've had a few more questions. What are the best at-home tutorials to do at the moment for clients?
For clients, I personally think that, I know that at Paul Edmonds, we've got one that we send out to clients about how to do a tint application through the root area and around the hairline. That's what we've sent out personally to clients. And we're all staying in touch with clients if they've got any problems. I think glosses, glazes, coloured shampoos, treatment things, styling tips are all great, you know, because people are still doing Zoom conferences and they're still working. A lot of people are still working. They're working from home and they still need good from here upwards. So those quick little tricks are great. I know Paul did a your own fringe one yesterday, which was fantastic and helpful because, you know, today I've got a wax pot arriving and I've got to wax my eyebrows. I don't know how I'm going to do it,
Oh, wow.
but I'm going to look at the tutorial myself.
That sounds great. I'm going to tune in for that. We've had a few more. Someone said, I'm a tutor and I'm having to teach remotely. I hate videoing, which may sound weird because I teach. I guess it's kind of different, isn't it? Some people may feel fine teaching in person, but over video it can be quite nerve-wracking. Have you got any tips for getting over the nerves?
I think that you've got to record yourself so that you can see yourself, and you have to accept that this is the way you look. Because, you know, when you're posing for a selfie or something, you can change your angle and do all that, you know, look. But on the camera, this is what people say. People aren't worried about that. That's the bit that holds you back. I think you need to be clear in your chat, in your conversation. And I think that you want to do those rehearsals, video yourself those rehearsals, first of all, before you do them live, just to make sure everything feels right. You are going to make mistakes going live. Everyone does. Don't get defined by the mistake. Keep going. And if you do something wrong, say, oh, I did that wrong. Just be human.
Yeah, we're all human, aren't we?
We all are indeed.
For anyone who doesn't have a professional kit, do you have any DIY tips?
Yes. I said and you shouldn't say that. Books, pots and pans and things to hold your phone onto are great. Blue tack to stick it to. Heavy duty sticky tape maybe on a bathroom mirror might work. Try those kind of things out. Find, if it's light in the morning, which it is now in the UK, and we've had some lovely days, get to that natural light and utilize it. If you're doing it from your bathroom, which is absolutely fine, just make sure you've got an extension lead in there so you can bring your hair in. Make sure that people can actually see what you're doing, so you're not that or that you're actually there, you know, those kind of things. Make sure that you position, if you're sat in a chair, so that you can read the comment at the bottom. If you're too low, all the comments will go over your head. So those kind of things. It is about practice and it is about getting used to it. The camera's not going to move around. So you need to be making sure you are moving with the camera, but suddenly you have an arm in the way, or that, which yesterday, which drove me mad when I did it. So just really about looking at the camera, working whatever you're doing around the camera, nobody else is holding it. But that's me. Maybe you've got a partner at home or a youngster at home who's good with a camera, and maybe they can help you too.
Absolutely, get your household to come in and help for sure.
Yeah.
We've had another question. What's the best time to do a tutorial? I know you mentioned that in the morning, the daylight now, it's quite a good time to do it. But in terms of maybe engagement with clients and things like that, would you have any times that you recommend having it live, perhaps?
I would look at what is happening on your Instagram feed when people are going live. There's a lot of live here at 6 o'clock in the evening, okay, because the American audience come on then too. So that wouldn't work for me. I find that 1 o'clock for me, I can speak to hairdressers who maybe have fed the kids and have got half an hour free, and they all know that now, it's in their diaries. And also you've got the idea that the morning was gone, but it's still light enough. You know what I mean? I think you have to look at your Instagram account and see what times work and figure it out, and set it so that it's on a regular basis, so people start to understand. Oh yes, 10 o'clock it's with Nancy Drew. 10 o'clock with Nancy Drew. Do you know what I mean? It's all quite repetitive, and I think that you will find yourself maybe doing the same tutorial again, but you'll speak to a different audience in there. Don't worry about thinking of brand new things all the time. Just variations of a theme.
Absolutely. We've had a question from Hayley, who has asked, do you use your phone or iPad for lives? Could you use an iPad perhaps?
You can use an iPad, absolutely. It's harder to put it. I haven't got a tripod to put mine on, but I use my iPad to watch what I'm doing on the screen. I can read the comments when I'm working. So lives are a little bit complicated, as you know, a little bit harder. But I think the tutorial is the way to start first, doing those tutorials. And it's also great for you, everyone who's watching now, to get used to doing it. That's the important thing, because digital is so important to all of us in the hairdressing community, that if you're more strong and more confident now and you get better, when we go back into the salon, you'll be on fire.
Absolutely. And when we are all back in the salons again, what are some tips for continuing with tutorials when salons reopen?
Tell me that again, sorry.
What are some tips for continuing with the online tutorials when salons really open again?
When the salons are open, of course, I am praying and hoping that we are all super busy, which I'm sure we will be. But I think that if you get into the habit of doing it now, you'll still be able to dedicate a morning tutorial or a Sunday afternoon somewhere that you can do them, and you'll still be able to post them on a regular basis. I won't be doing 2 lives a week when I go back to the salon. I'll go back to Hair Hack Mondays, but my audience will know that that's happening. So it's about creating new habits that are good for your business in this moment. It's terrible for our business.
Absolutely. And do you have any do's and don'ts for Instagram lives, video tutorials? Is there anything that you absolutely should not do?
I wouldn't swear.
Yeah.
My brand. I've been more casual at the moment in the way I dress, but I've started putting on a sneaker. The first 2 weeks were really grueling, I found. So get dressed. I think for guys, clean skin, even if you've got a beard or anything, always looks nice. Maybe a little bit of tan or something if you're looking particularly pale. For women, it's like make sure that your hair is done. You know, put a little bit of lipstick on, make sure that you look good on camera. I think that anything goes really. Find out what works. If it doesn't work, don't be disturbed by it, but do something else the next time. It's trial and error, all of this. It's all new.
Yeah, and it's a good time to experiment, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always heard, and the last 2 years I've stayed on track with it, is find your path. Now, I colour hair, I do tints, I do, you know, foil highlights, but everyone knows that I do balayage. I've stuck to balayage as my story online, and it has worked really well for me. And so I think it's find your truth. Mary from Behind the Chair always says that. Find your truth, find your path, and stick to it. And I think that's a good tip.
Yeah, it's a good tip. So people know exactly what they're when they see that you've gone live on Instagram or they see a video tutorial online.
Yeah.
Any more questions, guys, please do send them through, as we're coming towards the end now. But what would you say are some of the benefits of doing these online tutorials?
My mental health is benefited from it because I feel connected and people are talking to me, and otherwise I think I'd be rattling around this house like a lunatic with a dog and a cat. Um, so that's been really helpful for me. But it's also, I think that it's strengthening my brand itself as well, because people know that I'm going to be doing this stuff. Um, I think I've learned stuff in it, which is lovely to still be learning. I've learned how to edit a bit better, how to like myself a bit better, all of those, because usually they're doing that for me. But I feel incredibly connected and very lucky that people are watching me and thanking me and asking me questions, and I feel part of the industry.
Mm.
I mean, it's really easy to feel isolated and feel incredibly about money and all of that. And I know that is going on for a lot of us. But this keeps me sane, which I'm eternally grateful.
It's brilliant. Like, it's all about creating that sense of community, isn't it? And kind of keeping engaged with your clients and other people in the industry that you know. I've had another more question. How is it best to get clients to engage with your YouTube videos? I want to know client questions.
I have a YouTube channel, but I don't use it. My platforms of use are Instagram, and I use Facebook Business because it speaks to a slightly different audience. Either one is fine for that. I think that newsletters, if you've got a newsletter going out to clients, make sure they've opted in to that. Because if they've opted out with the European laws, then that's going straight to their junk mail. So post some stories on that. Get your clients back engaged with your social media. Let them know the platforms that you're on. Maybe preempt them and tell them what you're going to do over the next month to give them a set of series that they can follow. So this is very important to make sure clients know that you have an Instagram account, you have a YouTube channel, and know that you have Facebook. And the only way you're going to get to know that is if you've got their mailing list and that they are opting into it.
Absolutely, getting the word out that you're doing these lives and that sort of thing. We've had another question. Oh, sorry.
Well, sorry, somebody's asking me if I use my iPhone to video. Yes, I do. I think the quality is great enough with that. And I can see a couple of people asking about apps again. So I use one called Cut Story, Cutstory. I don't know if that's available. I use iMovie to edit things in together. And I use another one that you can't get anymore, unfortunately. But find some of them where you can do voiceovers in the app, and that you can add pictures to it. They help create great stories.
Absolutely. And is now a good time to reach out to bigger brands and offer to do joint lives or tutorials, perhaps?
I would never say no to anything like that. Absolutely. Put yourself forward. If you want to do something with a brand, possibly if you've not done anything with them before, make sure that you've done some great rehearsals. Tag them in it, tag your brands in it so they can get to see it. Brands are looking for content as well. Don't tag more than one brand in a post. So if you use Schwarzkopf and you use another color brand, don't do that. Just tag the main one that you're using, because they won't support you and post that through there. Definitely tag Hairdressers Journal in there to let them see what you're doing. That's what they want to do. And tag people who you like and admire in there and watch what they're doing and copy. We all copy, always.
Absolutely. Oh, Jack, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all of your wisdom. We're all going to be getting on the online tutorials now, I'm sure.
Oh, pleasure. And thank you so much for inviting me. And I think you're doing an amazing job at HJ with these lives with some really interesting guests. So I'm going to put that in my diary to tune into. And for everyone else who is watching, thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you keep safe, and I hope you stay